Hi friends, welcome to neet. Today we are going to talk about different cases of distance and displacement. Let's talk about case 1 where the displacement is 0 and the distance may or may not be 0. Let's consider an example where a person is standing at the same place for quite a long time, which means he is not moving, he is at rest at the same place. The initial and the final points are the same, so the displacement is 0. Since he is not moving, he is not covering some path, so the distance is also 0. Let us consider the same person is moving on a circular path where he is starting at the point and ending at the same point. So the displacement is 0. The initial and the final points are same. So the displacement is 0. But he has covered some length, some path length, which attributes to displacement. So both the cases you should have been clear that the displacement is 0, distance may or may not be 0. Here comes the second case where the distance is 0, then the displacement must be 0. Here comes the classic example of rest. A person is standing at rest at the same place. He is not moving. If he is not moving, he is not covering any distance. So the distance is 0 and also the initial and the final points are same. So the displacement must be 0. We must always remember that displacement comes only when there is some distance. Without distance, there is no displacement. Here is the third case where the distance is not equal to 0 and the displacement may or may not be 0. Let us consider you are going from home to school. You are finishing the school hours and coming back to home, which means you are coming back to the same point where you have started. Obviously, the displacement becomes 0, but you have covered some path during your travel. So, the distance is not equal to 0. Let's consider another example where you are going from your friend's home to your home, which means there are two different points. This is the starting point and this is the ending point. So there must be displacement, there must be distance also. And this place, since both the initial and the final points have only the one path to cover both of them, the distance and displacement is equal in this case. Let's talk about case 4 where displacement is not equal to 0 and distance is not equal to 0. Meaning if there is displacement, there must be distance. Okay, let us consider this circle. You are traveling 1/4 of the circle in this curved path, which is the actual path, so it is the distance. And there is a shortest path from A to B, which is 1/4 of the circle. You are going from A to B in the shortest path, that is displacement. As you can see, when there is displacement, there must be distance. Without distance, displacement cannot stand alone. So this is the fourth case.